What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we have another cool one for you. One I've been searching for quite some time. As a matter of fact, for a while now. And this figure right here, to me, is one of the coolest figures that I've seen in a long time. And this one is a cool figure from all the way from 1992. From End Time Products, we bring you the Rapid Deployment Force 12-inch action figure skull. Ultra cool, guys. A figure, let's bring this guy down a little bit. This is a figure, like I said, that I've been seeking out, looking for, and I found this guy maybe a week prior, but I wanted to look for another one because it wasn't quite condition wise. As you can see, this one is in really good condition. Everything is intact. The box is in excellent condition. Might have just a tad bit tint to the window box. That's normal with a lot of these older figures boxes, but for the most part, helmet's intact. Everything's intact. Head sculpts, everything's beautiful. Uniform's gorgeous. And I found one earlier, like I said, and he didn't meet the requirements that I feel, the standard, I should say, of the M.I.B. Master Museum. And for me to have to really call my collection museum quality, or to even label my channel as a museum, you guys are expecting to see figures that are in excellent condition, near perfect condition on every level. And that's what we have prided ourselves, of doing, when we started our channel. And even before, like I said, before I started my channel, I simply, everything has to be mint in box, mint on card, C8 to C10, and I'm happy. Now, we will keep figures that are less than perfect, less than C10, but we use those figures for comparison videos and things of that nature, and we'll be doing something of that nature today with this video. This is, once again, I'd like to thank my good friend from the Skulls review. It was his video on this skull figure from Rapid Deployment Force toy line, which got my attention to this, drew my attention to this figure. And it was love at first sight when I saw this figure on his channel. I said, you know what, I absolutely, positively have to own this figure. I have to find this figure. I thought this figure was so cool in its simplistic nature. It's not very, it doesn't have 21, 23, 30 points of articulation. It doesn't really have any of those things. This figure pretty much is closer to the earlier 1990s Hall of Fame figures. Built in the same, constructed in the same manner. Big durable bodies, not a lot of articulation. You see the hand sculpts there. But super cool, very fun, very colorful. Has a ton of equipment and accessories, as you can see. And to me, that just drew my attention to this beautiful figure. And I said, you know what, this is the crown jewel of the Rapid Deployment Force toy line to me. I've done a lot of research. We bought a ton of these figures, And if I like a figure enough, you guys know me, I will definitely purchase a duplicate. And that's what we had to do with this one, primarily because of the condition of the first skull figure that we had. Condition wise, it was nowhere near where I wanted him to be, not like this one. So we went on Amazon and we tracked down this figure. I should say my producer actually, she tracked down this figure for me, and God bless her. And she knew how badly I was slightly disappointed with the first one, and because this is the one I really wanted, guys. And you know, everybody that knows me knows that, you know what, I take my collecting very seriously. But you know, I love the hobby, and I'm not purchasing figures just to do reviews on them. You know, we talked about that, you know, months and months ago. You know, if you're doing that just for a channel, don't even bother. You know, you have to enjoy what you do, and I absolutely, positively enjoy what I do 1,000%. And like I said, I'm just in love with this figure. it was love at first sight when I saw this figure on the Skulls review on his channel, and I had to get this figure. I had to add this figure to the M.I.B. Master Museum. And as you can see, this is a Rapid Deployment Force figure. He comes with a ton of equipment. And for a figure to be produced like this back in 1992, I credit the collector that owned this particular figure. This figure was well maintained from the box, everything. But it just goes to show you, in 1992, how cool, you know, the 12-inch figure lines were back then. You know, everybody was competing with one another, trying to get their latest and greatest new wave 12-inch action figure lines out on the market. It was so wide open back then, because G.I. Joe had just came back on the scene with their 12-inch Hall of Fame figures, and this is 1992 here, so Rapid Deployment Force figures were out. You just had a ton of figures, 12-inch action figure lines out during that time period that made it so cool to be a collector, you know, and have so many choices and selections and options, and that was the key. But in the same light, these figures kind of fell to the wayside, and I spoke a little bit about that because G.I. Joe was back out, and G.I. Joe absorbed so much of the attention because it was gone for so long, and Hasbro being a powerhouse, you know, a lot of these smaller toy companies simply couldn't compete at that level for the attention of all of the collectors and just general public that was looking for, you know, an action figure. But this was a very modest figure price-wise. It didn't cost an arm and a leg. I don't think it barely cost $20, or a little less than that, to purchase these figures. And this figure line was very vague to me. Didn't really pay it much of attention, primarily because of G.I. Joe. So that was tough in its own right, because I once again I felt bad. Now looking back on it and having a museum, you know, I'm paying the price now because a lot of these figures now are pulp culture favorites and very hard to find, especially once again in this type of condition. So you just look at how beautiful this box is. Let's turn this guy around. Let's go up top. Here, I just bring it to you. Rapid Deployment Force. You see I have just a little bit of creasing right there But for the most part, let's get you a blown out look here. The box is in excellent condition. Collect all 6 of the latest RDF fighters. And we're well on our way. Like I said, we picked up a ton of these figures. And there's our skull. And to me, that is that once again, that is just the crown jewel of this collection right here. It's the colors, the equipment, the styling, all of that played a part in me just falling in love with this particular figure right here. Guys, if you're just joining us, please like and subscribe. This is what we do. We do requests and we cover everything. 8-inch figures, 12-inch figures, all different types of genres. Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Mego, you name it. And now we have a new one, End Time Products. As you can see, this box is just beautifully done. And I wanted to bring in, because you know we talked about the comparison, but I wanted to bring in its the comparable figure here. And this is the one that I picked up from another collector off eBay. And let's bring this guy in, get you a blown out shot. Here's our two figures side by side. As you can see, this is the near C10, near perfect one, and here's our not so perfect one. And at first glance, you can probably look and tell what's missing already. Here's the skull right here on the helmet. This one didn't come with the skull. As a matter of fact, we don't know where the skull is at. We could not locate the skull. The box was badly beaten up, as you can see here alongside there, and just get you a shot. You can see just the difference between the boxes. And then over here, the newer one. Yes, this particular skull figure that I had to repurchase, this one costs more, but you guys, you truly do, I can't say this enough, you truly do get what you pay for. You know, we cut a few corners to try to price wise, thinking we could probably get this guy a little cheaper, because we bought in bulk with other figures, but it just didn't work out like that. And that happens sometime, and that's okay. Here you got some smearing at near the forehead area, and over here, clean. Nice clean head sculpt. Here, a little smearing up there. Skull has some smearing on it, and that could be anything, you know. It's just printed on, screen printed on there. This right over here, nice and clean. The equipment looks in pretty good shape. There's weapons and things of that nature. But this is why we keep. And now here's one thing. Here's one thing that the less than perfect skull figure has. Right up here, you can see the name Skull. Here, there's nothing. I don't know if it fell off, because as you can see, it's just a sticker. But this doesn't have it. I didn't see it anywhere at the base of the box or anything. So, but you can see here the condition of this box, and let's turn both to the side here. Nice clean one, and this one has just been through a lot. And it happens, guys. It really does. It's unfortunate. Like I said, it just goes to show you, you know, some collectors take better care of their collectibles. You see a lot of right around here, this area right here, this white, but nothing here. And this still has the gloss to it. This is a little faded. Colors are a little bit more richer on this side. And so, I mean, that's just, you know, guys, am I being picky? I don't know. Leave a comment underneath this video. We would like to know. Am I just too much of a, if it's just too much of a curator in me as owning a museum, or is, you know, should I let little things like that go? I don't think so, but you know, you guys tell me what you think. But I just want to do this review on the Rapid Deployment Force skull figure, 12-inch skull figure. And to let you guys know, I definitely had to get this guy again, repurchase him, because I think that this figure is so cool. And as you can see, I had to get both. I had to have two. One not so perfect, one very perfect. Guys, with that being said, you know the routine. Thanks for stopping in and visiting us here at the M.I.B Master Museum. We definitely appreciate you hanging out with this comparison video on our Rapid Deployment Force skull figures. Please stop back in. Don't be a stranger. God bless. And keep collecting.